Right, this is my first ever post-fight analysis video, and it's probably going to be a bit stop-start, but we'll try and get through it, and maybe get better at it as I do more of them, hopefully. But yeah, so this is the Hopkins Dawson post-fight analysis, and yeah, so where do we start? I mean. So many contrasting opinions flying around the place at the moment. I mean, did he take a dive? Did he go down and, exaggerate it to get out? Did Hopkins just not like being in there with Dawson? Did he think Dawson was just going to be too strong and fast for him at that age? I don't know. We'll never know. Only Bernard Hopkins knows truly, what went on. But anyway, first round. Dawson, throwing the jab out quite nicely. Not much happened in the round, to be fair, but from what did, I think Dawson got the better of the round. I gave it to Dawson. He looked like the jab was, he didn't look in any way intimidated. He looked nice and calm, and he was boxing quite nicely. Just the all-round cleaner work. The jab was just landing that bit more often, and I gave him the first round. Second round was continuing in the same manner. Second round was continuing in the same manner. You could clearly see it was going to be a typical Hopkins performance, on the back foot, waiting for Dawson to, come in so he could, hit him with one of his counter shots. And it was his trademark punch, the straight right hand, which started off the sequence of events that led to the stoppage. Basically, I think it was I have a note down here. Hang on, it's in scribbles. Hang on. It's about 3/4 of the way through the second round. Hopkins throws a straight right. It lands on Dawson's shoulder, who had ducked under the punch. And in order to stop Dawson from countering him, Hopkins leans over Dawson on his back. And Dawson is like, I'm not having this. And he sort of rugby style shoves Hopkins to the ground, lifts him off his feet, and throwing him to the ground is a strong. It's a bit harsh, but definitely there was a bit of aggression there, and he did throw him to the ground. He lifted him off his feet and he threw him to the ground. It's not a boxing maneuver. It was very much a rugby tackle, really. That's the only way I can describe it. And straight away, Hopkins goes down and he clutches his shoulder, and the referee crouches down. He's looking at Hopkins, and Hopkins is hitting the ground in frustration. And you're not really getting that many signals from Hopkins that he wants to continue. He looks like he's frustrated that he's been injured. So the referee waves it off, and that was it. And there was some choice words afterwards with between the two fighters, because Dawson went over to Hopkins' corner and called him, a few names. He was disappointed because he knew straight away that. This fight was going to be remembered for that. And then came the decision, and it was given as a TKO, and the title changed hands. Now, I really don't agree with that, I have to say. I really don't agree. I mean, how can a shove, with your shoulder result in a victory? I mean, that's not something, you do in a boxing ring. It's not a boxing maneuver. It's not from the sport of boxing, and that's what's ended up winning Dawson the fight, due to Hopkins not being able to continue. I mean, surely that has no contest written all over it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that has to get no contest written all over it. I mean, what better example? I mean, to have a no contest. Somebody does something that is nothing to do with the sport of boxing. It results in somebody getting hurt from it, and they somehow give him a TKO. I mean. I don't know. I mean, I really, really, really don't know. Now, whether we'll never ever know. I don't think whether Hopkins was exaggerating it, and he thought that Dawson was just going to be too big and strong for him. We'll never really know. Some people think he did. I think there was a bit. I think there was a bit of exaggeration from Hopkins. I mean, come on, it's Bernard Hopkins. Let's not try and kid ourselves. We are. I think a lot of us are Bernard Hopkins fans, because what he's done is in his late 40s or mid 40s. He's 46 and he was a world champion. So I suppose we're all kind of fans of him in that regard. But we've seen this from him in the past. He knows every trick in the book, and I think this is one trick maybe that didn't come off for him, because as I said, I was giving Dawson the second round, I gave him the first round, so I was beginning to think that this fight looks a bit different to the Pascal fight, because Dawson isn't gonna rush in like Pascal did. He's gonna pick his shots. He's not gonna overcommit himself, because Pascal was pretty much tailor-made for Hopkins' style. Pascal wouldn't box his way in to the inside. He would just launch himself in, throw lots of punches, in kind of a flurry and out again. And Hopkins is way too smart for that. He'd pick anybody off that would do that. So Dawson's not like that. Dawson was he's a much more cultured boxer. He's a much more all-rounded boxer. And I don't know. I mean, people are saying that because Dawson wasn't rushing in like Hopkins might have expected, or hoped. I don't think expected is the right word. I think Hopkins was hoping that Dawson would be goaded into a fight. That he wanted out, that he thought, well, this is no good. He's too quick with the jab. He's too young. He's 29. 29 against 46. There has to be a difference there. I'm sorry. I know Bernard Hopkins is the best 46-year-old fighter probably ever, but there has to be a difference somewhere. And I think probably the speed of the jab was evident. There was a difference. Dawson was landing, beating Hopkins to the punch pretty much. So, I mean, I don't know. Where do we go from here? I mean, what do you think? I mean, in the post-fight interview, Dawson said, no, he's not getting a rematch. This is his fault. Well, I don't think it is, really. I mean, it was Dawson that threw Hopkins to the ground. It was Dawson that gave Hopkins the excuse to maybe milk what had happened. But maybe we don't know. I mean, his elbow did seem to hit the ground quite hard. It could have jarred his shoulder. What was quite funny after the fight is Max Kellerman, who, I don't know, just annoys me more and more and more every time I watch him. Just like I asked him, what was actually wrong, and Hopkins kind of looked saying, oh, my shoulder's out, and Kellerman was like, oh, let's see, what is your shoulder out? So we just kind of look at him for a second. Hopkins tenses his two shoulders, and Kellerman says, oh yeah, one of them's higher than the other. I mean, that's a fantastic kind of diagnostics there from a presenter on a bloody boxing channel, but whatever. So a no contest would have been if in my opinion, I mean, the right decision. I don't know. I'm not sure of the rule in that situation, to be fair, but a no contest surely would have been the fairest decision on both parts. But as it is, Dawson will move on, I'm sure. I don't think he's going to have the fight with Hopkins because again, if Hopkins is injured, he's going to take him a number of weeks before he can start training again. So in between then, I would imagine Dawson will have another fight. He called out, he said he wanted Jean Pascal to avenge his only defeat. I think that's probably going to happen, to be fair. We all remember what happened there with the cut. So yeah, I would imagine that's a fight that will happen, probably will happen in between, maybe a fight again with Hopkins. But I wouldn't bank on it. I wouldn't bank on Dawson giving Hopkins another shot. He was pretty adamant in the post-fight interview that it was Hopkins' fault. When again, I'll say it again, that he did, Dawson threw him to the ground. He gave him an excuse, and so I mean, what do you think? I mean, it was a massive disappointment. I wait up till all hours in the morning for it, and ends up ending in that kind of controversy. Wasn't good. It was a bit like, great, fantastic, thanks a lot. But anyway, that's about it. That was my first ever post-fight video, and I don't know. I mean, make of it what you want. I don't know. I mean, it was probably a bit stop-start, but yeah. Anyway, leave some feedback in the comments and subscribe if you haven't. And thanks for watching.